Of all the issues in the audio world, by far the most important is the digital audio problem. Most people know that pure analog is warm and feels like music, and digital somehow is not the same. Digital audio was introduced in the 1970s, and since then, no one has been able to really explain why this is. Daniel Hertz is the only company that can explain, measure, and fix the digital audio problem. I'm happy to say that Daniel Hertz just received a patent on our Seawave technology, accepted and approved by the US Patent Office. So, what's the problem? The problem is that the human brain likes continuous waveforms, as you find in nature. But digital audio is not a continuous waveform. It's a non-continuous waveform. And the brain feels something like da 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 da. It doesn't like it. It creates a stress reaction. And this stress reaction can be measured consistently and repeatably with a $13,000 health diagnostic software. Now, the most important thing is health. But health and music are very connected. You can say that the real purpose of music is not just entertainment, it's upliftment and healing. And for that to happen, you can't be stressed. And the stress reaction of the brain to digital audio can't be ignored. This is not subjective. It's not, I think this, you think that. It's objective. Everybody measures the same. So, what are we going to do about this? Well, Seawave is an algorithm based on a very finely tuned reverb algorithm that fills in the spaces between the samples so that the brain feels it's a continuous waveform. And what does this mean? Well, it means that we can get pure analog emotion and sound from digital audio, including streaming. Okay? This is a big deal. But it's more than just sound. It's wellness. Why? Because stress stops emotion and stress lowers the immune system. Both of these are not good. First of all, music is not sound. Music is emotion. And when you stop emotion, you can't get lost in the music anymore. And that's what people have been complaining about since digital audio was introduced. We can't get lost in the music anymore. Well, now you can. Seawave is embedded in our Mighty Cat chip, which is used in our Maria amplifier, and it will be soon in the world in many other ways. It's really the missing piece. You can have all the preamplifiers, power amplifiers, speakers, and DACs and cables in the world, but what good is it if the brain is stressed and we can't get lost in the music? Now, I'd like to share with you a pilot test that we did, which shows the issues here. You can see here a summary of the pilot tests we did, and you will see green rectangles, red rectangles, and blue rectangles. We have 4 people here, 1, 2, 3, 4, tested in the same room at the same time. The green rectangles are tests with no music at all. The red rectangles are tests with people listening to a digital audio recording, one by one. And the blue rectangles are tests done with the same recording, same volume, same absolute everything except the recording is Seawave processed. Now, people were tested for 3 parameters: central nervous system function, kidney function, and liver function. And I'll zoom in and show you how that works. So here you can see that there are 3 tests The top one is central nervous system. The second one is liver function, and the third is kidney function. The ideal measurement is in the low 50s, 51, 52, 53. 60s, 70s is not quite as good, but not terrible. 80s and 90s is not that great. But what you really don't want is less than 50. That indicates going in a direction that's not so good. So here we have 60s, 70s, 60s, 70s, some in the 80s, but you can see they're all 60s, 70s, 80s, listening to no music. Let's go to the red rectangles. They're almost all below 50. 14.4, 44.5, 40.9, 35.2, 91.1, 29.9, 41.2, 81.5, 45.7, 33.5, 35.4, 40.1. What happened? The doctor was astonished. What happened to these people? This is not very good. Now, let's go to the blue rectangles. 53.9, 55.5, 52.4, 51.7, 55.2, 51, 53.8, 53.4, 52.4, 50.1, 53, 57.9. What does this mean? This means that with Seawave, we're actually stronger listening to music than listening to no music. It means listening to music is good for you. This is wellness. This is serious stuff. The problem is that you can't measure this with audio test equipment because it's not an audio problem. It's a brain problem. It's the way the brain responds to the non-continuous waveform of digital audio. Now, this is nothing less than disruptive, okay? First of all, because it's not subjective, it's objective. Everybody tests the same. And second of all, because it's not just about sound, it's about wellness and human health. This is the result of over 30 years of work and millions of dollars of investment. It's a big story. I'm not taking credit for this. There's other people involved who made enormous contributions to this, including a doctor and psychiatrist who was one of the most advanced therapists in the world, who used music in his therapy and discovered that digitally recorded music was destructive. It had negative effects rather than positive effects in his therapy. And my mentor, Dick Berwin, who's now 96, one of the 4 founding fathers of analog devices, semiconductor company, inspired the solution of using this kind of finely tuned reverb algorithm. This is a deep story, but the most important thing for you, probably, is that now you can listen to everything with a new level of enjoyment and, let's say, immersion into music from streaming, from any content. You're free. Now, some people think that LPs are the solution. Well, LPs made before 1978, maybe. But most LPs today are digitally mastered. They have the same problem as a CD. With the Maria and Seawave, digitally mastered LPs are fixed on the fly, as well as everything else. So this is super interesting, very deep, and absolutely relevant to love of music. Thank you.